Blog Talk Radio. Hello, everyone. I'm writer, author, and producer Yvonne Luttrell, and I have my co-host on the show, SC. And remember, if you would like to be a guest on the show, or if you would like to advertise your business, hit us up: Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Yvonne Luttrell. And SC? SC, can you hear me? Hold on 1 second.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I was like, I'm here.
Okay, so
how you doing?
Oh, my week was good. How about yours?
Well, it was interesting, pretty good. I can't complain. I was reaching out to a couple of people about tonight's show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting conversation, subject to talk about, because everybody's into this, I could do this in the bedroom, I could do that in the bedroom, so we'll see.
All right. So today's show is, are you a pleaser or a teaser? And this was your idea. But I do feel like I think that I'm a pleaser. I think I could probably be a little bit of a teaser, but I think sexually a lot of guys are teasers. I feel like they think that they know how to please a woman when they don't. Not saying that I don't know. I think that they can be better sexually when it comes to oral sex, because with women, as far as having an orgasm, you have some women that can have an orgasm without a problem, but then you have some. I don't know. I think it's just sometimes just the men when it comes to oral sex. When you guys go down there, some of you guys just don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
What?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. First, we gotta address the elephant in the room. A lot of times, a lot of men have been deceived by other women, or other women have stroked their ego on, you did such a good job, or instead of discussing it with them, like, hey, listen,
I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
And discussing
I faked
the
so
fact
many
of,
orgasms.
hey, listen,
It's sad.
And I think it's just a conversation that needs to be had. It's one of them situations where the woman needs to tell the guy, hey, listen, you remember when you had your tongue right here and I grabbed your head and I was trying to keep you there? Next time, just stay there. Play with that a little. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I don't know what you did in the past, and that might have worked for her, but this is how my body works. You understand what I'm saying? Because every man thinks when they go down there, they know what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Some men just start licking it like they're a dog, like they're drinking water out of a bowl, instead of like, hey.
Yeah, they go tonguing it, and And
I gotta open that up. I gotta suck on it.
The clitoris. Don't just suck on it. Suck on the clitoris. Don't just go kissing and sucking all of, because that's not the spot. You're all over the place. You just got your tongue all over the place. No, put your lips on my clitoris and suck it, and watch your teeth. Guys like to say watch your teeth. No, you watch your damn teeth down there. Let me feel that tongue. Then I wouldn't have to use the damn rolls. I wouldn't need this damn vibrator. You don't know what you're doing.
They're using their teeth.
So in my next relationship, I'm definitely going to be more verbal. I'm going to communicate more instead of just faking it. Oh yeah, I'm so sensitive. Get up. Yeah, get up so I can get this damn vibrator. Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But yeah, so. But yeah, you are definitely right.
He should be mature enough. He should be mature enough for y'all to have that conversation. It shouldn't be a thing of resistance, you know. And sometimes some men can get a little offended because they be like, "Oh, she's gonna try to tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. I know what I'm doing down there." And it's not even that, you know. Sometimes,
right?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
But I did try. No, okay, so I did try that before. I did say, as far as like, well, you know, the last guy I told him, and you know, and the guy is always like, oh yeah, these guys don't know what they, you know, what they're doing. Okay, you about to go right down there and be another disappointment, just like everybody else. So, yeah, spread my lips apart and get down there and suck on my clitoris.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know a lot of men, they'll talk about sex, but they won't go into details of, oh, so what you like, you know, besides being a pervert through the conversation, like, oh, so you like, you know, meaning like getting the details on what she likes, what she doesn't like, how she likes it, you know, she like being on her back, on her knees, or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's just a conversation that needs to be had. You know, we're in 2023 now. It's not like it's 2019, 2010, or whatever. You know, these are conversations that we need to have as an adults, you know. And every woman, y'all are guilty of creating these monsters of men that think they know what they're doing, because you always will cater to them and tell them, oh, you did such a good job, or, oh, wow, you know, you made me come, big daddy, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And instead of just saying, hey, listen, you know, I like what you was doing, but I think you could be a little better. I think we could jazz it up. Or even just say that. Be like, yo, okay, next time we do that, can we jazz it up a little? You know, so it's not really on his ego. It's like you showing him a kinky side of you. He's like, oh, I might try that. I might like that. You understand what I'm saying? Because everyone want to stick their finger right in there and start jamming away. Like they trying to get a cord out of a goddamn phone booth.
No, I don't like nobody sticking their finger up there. No, don't put your finger. I don't want to feel no fingernails. No, put your tongue on it and that's it. But if you can't make me come like that, then hey, just don't even go down there. So I do tell people, oh yeah, I really don't really care for head, you know. And I say that, like I said, only because these guys don't know what they're doing. I had this one guy, and he was better than a rose. And this was a while back, and he wanted to get into a relationship. At the time, I didn't want one, and we never had sex, but he sucked my pussy, and he knew what the fuck he was doing. He knew what the fuck he was doing. Yeah, and just he knew what he was doing. Yeah.
I'm gonna give guys some free game right now. A lot of times, men, if you do that first,
somebody told this guy. That guy, I don't know. He was taught. He was taught by a woman. He ain't just go down there and knew. Somebody must have told him, "Hey, baby, you doing it wrong. Let me show you how to do it." And he remembered, because when he went down on me, he knew what the fuck he knew what he was doing. A straight pleaser.
Well, you know, you have some men that know the game. You know, some men know. Hey, listen, you know, I know she's not going to come through vaginal intercourse. You know, I got to give her a clitoral orgasm, and then that'll work into the vaginal one. So a lot of times men don't understand that sometimes you might have to do that. You know, and then you get some men that they think they dick too big to even eat some pussy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, no, I ain't doing all that, but she could suck me off. You know, this, that, and the third. But, you know, we gotta look at it on some, you know, let's be real. You know, just because you got a big one don't mean you know how to do anything with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Some women talk about how big, you know, some of these guys be hurting them. You know, and I noticed that a lot of niggas talk about, oh, I was just gamming her. You understand what I'm saying? But did she enjoy it? You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, some of these women, y'all create these monsters because y'all always have these men thinking they're doing all this magical stuff that nobody else has done, you know? And it's just hard, you know. But if you want, we can start letting everybody in the room, you know, because I'm pretty sure we got a couple people that's listening.
I'm gonna let everybody in. Yeah.
Okay.
And and don't forget, we do have a speed dating that we're going to be doing on either Sundays or Mondays.
Yeah, it's more of a
we'll let everybody know about that.
Sunday.
Yeah. For the single people.
It's gonna be a little twist to the speed dating. It's really not gonna be a speed dating, but we're gonna walk through the intricate parts of like dating, because I think we've gotten away from dating. Everybody just jumps right into a relationship. Nobody gets into the part of knowing each other. Nobody gets into the part of, oh, let me meet this person. They just jump into the relationship, and there's a lot of pieces that are missing, and then they wonder why the relationship don't work out. They be like, wow, you know, I thought this was the person, but did you really give them time to show you who they are? You got to see people at all their seasons. You got to see a person when they're mad. You got to see a person when they're happy. You got to see a person when they're sad. You got to see them in all these seasons and see how they operate, see how they function. If you don't, you're just creating a problem for yourself later on. But we'll get into that when we start doing, you know, the Shoot Your Shot Sunday. You know, but
hey, I'm here when you guys say so. This is Solution.
Okay. Yeah.
I was on your last show, The Swingers. I learned a lot. Swingers Lifestyle a couple of Saturdays ago.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I was traumatized by that show, but in a good way, I guess.
Well, at least we ain't traumatized you that bad because you came back. So we appreciate you coming back to the show. You know, and we hope to have you on all our other shows. You know, just don't make it. Just come to all our shows. You know, we got Tuesdays and we got Saturdays right now. You know, and we're looking to do some more days. You know.
Yeah, let me throw something at you right quick. First of all, I'm both. I would say I'm a pleaser and a teaser. But Yvonne, I went through your listing of shows, and I saw the one Sorry Excuse for a Man, and I said, this sounds like an assignment for me. So I wrote the 7 principles to love, sex, and dating, and their 7 results. And I would like to share with those ladies, should they ever come back. I didn't see your follow-up show, but I think they need to be more proactive, particularly the woman who hadn't had a date in 9 years. But I don't know if you guys want to discuss that, so much for that. But to the current, if you say so, I'll just show up on the show. It doesn't have to be all informal or formal and everything. It could just be informal with me. But something you just said about your current topic, and that is that a man may not care that much. If you're not his woman and he's just hitting it for the first and last time, he may not give a damn. I mean, you have to take that into consideration. And I agree with what the gentleman said. A lot of women want a guy that's really good at sex. And the problem is, if a guy is really good at sex, why should he stay with you? He has a valuable commodity, as all of us can attest. But I think a woman needs to tailor a man and vice versa to her particular body. You claim that your body is unique. So like the gentleman was saying, show him what you want. Show him. Don't complain to other people.
I did say in my next relationship, once I'm divorced, I will tell the next guy, I will be more verbal with him to let him know, instead of faking a orgasm, I'm going to let him know, you're doing it wrong. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to speak up the next time instead of, okay, yeah, I came, let me get my toy. instead of grabbing my toy.
Yeah, and just to pull the covers back a little bit, if I may I?
Of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Why did you feel the need to fake it? I don't quite comprehend that.
I faked it because I wanted him to hurry up so I can get my toy. He was not going to get it, so I wanted to use my toy.
Okay, so you anticipated...
You know what?
Okay.
Oh.
No,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, thank you. No, I said you anticipated that he wasn't going to, quote unquote, get the job done. So
he thought he knew what he was doing. He didn't know. He didn't know.
Okay, well then, let me tell you. Okay, from henceforth, unless you have taught the man your particular physiology, you should never blame him for any lack.
But I did tell him. I did say, suck my clitoris. But the problem is you suck in the clitoris, then after that you just want to start tonguing my vagina. No, don't tongue. Just keep your mouth on the clitoris. Suck it. Suck it until it comes so I don't have to use the damn rose. But so I did say, moving forward. Moving forward, I definitely will speak more and be like, baby, no. I'm definitely going to speak up more.
Okay, that satisfies that. That sounds good. But men who like you want to please you, and hopefully it would be vice versa. But too many women complain about things that they have an enormous power to change, and they don't. So I'm going to say in many instances it's laziness and inappropriateness on their part that they don't inform and instruct the man of what to do. You can take your time. It's there. It's not going anywhere. And show any man that you want that cares about you, and I'm saying this in general for women, and show him what you want done. And that way you have a much greater opportunity of getting the job done.
Right.
Can you guys hear me? You know what? I personally think that, and this is me talking to like different females or whatever, that women get into this habit of they can groom a man into what they want him to be, but not tell him what they want him to be, if that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? And that goes back to her, not telling him, oh, nah, move your head over this way, this, that, and the third. They always expect a boy to be a man instead of just getting a man. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times they get so caught up in liking this guy so much that they forget to tell him, this is how my body works. This is how I work. This is how I function. Because they got the butterflies in their stomach and everything else. Where a guy in his mind, he think he did a good job, because he's like, oh, she moaned, so I know she did a good job. You understand what I'm saying? Her eyes rolled the back of her head. I know she did a good job. She called me daddy. She did this. She did that. So I know I did a good job. Instead of saying, hey, listen, there's a conversation we need to have, And I think what you said, they create these monsters, that they go around telling women they could eat their pussy, I suck your shoestrings off you or whatever, coming up with these crazy lies. And these niggas, the girl, it happens, and she's like, yo, no magic. There was none, no magic. But I had to fake that there was magic. So
right.
I don't know, but that's just my personal opinion, Anybody else online got a personal opinion on that? I just
have one other quick observation, and I want to say this in general. I was watching this guy on YouTube, and he had some women that were talking about the coochie sphinx, their coochies or women's coochies. So I would just say to women, be careful of your pH balance, that it is inviting enough for a guy to want to do that. I think that's very critical also.
It goes both ways.
Okay, that goes. Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna play the devil's advocate now.
I have a podcast for clean your stinky vagina and those sour balls. It goes both ways. I did it for both sexes.
You know, and we got to think about this too. We got to think of the age of the woman, for one. We got to realize that a woman's body changes, and we got to understand those smells. Sometimes those smells are not funky smells. Those are her natural body. I'd rather know her natural body than suck on some potpourri, not knowing she got a fungus or something down there. You understand what I'm saying? I'd rather know, like, okay, this smell, I know what this smell is because I'm a man. I know what that smell is about. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You get some of these men, these women are doing all this douching and stuff, but they got, you know, you be like, damn, baby, you need a North form. You don't need no damn douche. You need to, like, really get in there and get all of that up out of you, you know? So, you know, it's not sometimes the smell. You got to know what the smell is. You got to know, okay, that's her body, that's her aroma, that's her scent. You understand what I'm saying? Compared to you smelling her lips and it's smelling like tulips. You really don't know what's going on down there. You're like, ooh, I love these flowers. Then tomorrow you got powder cake all around your lips. The lips start to swell up and everything, you know. So we got to be careful on that too, you know. And a lot of times men will say stuff like that just to throw a jab back at the girl because she might have just hurt his feelings. And he might not realize, okay, that's not funk. That's a body odor. That's a body releases because she's older now. She's not younger. And younger women, their body don't hold that odor that older women have. So we got to think about the age that we're dealing with as well. Because some of these young girls, you think they clean, they not. These older women too, but the older women know exactly how they're supposed to clean themselves. You know, so that's my 2 cents on that subject, you know. So
if I may say so, I hear what you're saying, and you make a good point. But this was women bringing this out. These were 2 women that were bringing this out, not men.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know, women are the worst critics of each other. So I you know, how many times we done heard a woman talk about another woman, but when she in her face like, hey girl, how you doing, girl? You looking good at that. As soon as she walk away, like she thinks she cute. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas men, if we don't deal with each other, we don't deal with each other.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Men, we be like, we might head nod each other and keep it moving, but we ain't gonna stand around another man we don't like. But women will do it all day. You know, and that's where it comes where they mask up certain things. You understand what I'm saying? And that goes along with this topic. They'll mask up a man's terrible experience and make him seem like he knocked down the world. You know, he done gave her all these star-spangled banners and everything else, where instead of her just telling him the truth. And I think that comes from women being somewhat of caterers. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we live in a culture where women will cater to the man to a degree. Not all the way. I'm not going to give y'all all that, but y'all will cater to a man in the wrong ways. The times that y'all should cater, y'all don't. And the times that y'all do cater, y'all shouldn't, if that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? And terrible sex is one of them. Because when's the last time one of your homegirls ever told you, yo, I told that nigga it was trash? Or what they do, they just ghost them. They never said nothing else to them. Or they say, yeah, it was good, and then they ghost them. Instead of saying, well, you know what, this is the situation. You know, but just know when you tell him that, his ego is going to kick in. So just be prepared for the backlash.
Yes,
so just be aware of how you tell it to him.
I never really had bad sex. It's just, like I said, the orgasm part, just getting to that orgasm. So I'm not going to, you know, like say my exes, like, oh, yeah, they were bad in bed. I mean, especially when you've been with somebody for a while. So, like, oh, you've been with somebody, you know, all that time, and then, you know, the sex is bad. So it's not that the sex was bad. It's just, like, you know, having an orgasm.
Okay, so
you know,
I'm gonna ask a question about that, because my goal when I have sex is to have an orgasm. That's my goal. I don't know, that's your goal, but that's my goal. So if you're saying that you never had an orgasm, did you have a vaginal?
I never said I never had.
Okay, so you've had vaginal orgasm. You just never had a clitoral orgasm. And there are differences, and some men don't understand that there is a difference. So you have had vaginal ones. You just never had a clitoral one.
I had a orgasm with my vibrator.
Okay, you just never had a human contact when you had it. I was stop picking on you. I've been doing that a lot. I was not picking on
you. Two people. Oh my God, so sad. Gosh, it's really sad.
Oh man,
but this was your topic. So, what are you? Are you a pleaser or are you? I can't believe that two people. Okay, but yeah, are you a pleaser or are you a teaser?
I think I could be both. And I've had later conversations with people and asked them, and they say, well, I enjoy it. You understand what I'm saying? I haven't had any bad feedback, and if I did, I know how to receive it. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a thing of her trying to hurt my feelings. It's a thing of her trying to better me. For her, like he said, you got to tell him how your body functions, and if you don't, then you can't complain about it. And he made a very good point when he said that. He said, if you don't teach him, then how you have the right to complain about it?
Right.
So.
Hey, how important, if I may, how important do you guys consider stability and familiarity in terms of enjoyment of good sex?
Oh, we got to be very familiar with each other. Because she got to know that I'm a freak. I live cracks, backs, and all that. I'm ready to do it if the wind blow right. You understand? She got to really, so I think we need to be stable and on the same page when we're dealing with each other. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that should be I think we should know each other when we hit that bedroom or wherever we at. You understand what I'm saying? We decide, let's do it in the park. You need to know this is what I like. This is what we need to do or whatever. I think we should be very stable-minded as far as, and compatible. Just because you have sex with somebody don't make you compatible with them. So I think you should be very compatible with the person. And just because you like the person don't mean you're compatible with them sexually. So I just think it's a conversation that we need to have. I think it's a conversation that both parties need to have. Because there's some things that men like and don't like.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Well, I think yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Somebody else is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, this is Frank. So I've just been listening. I guess I missed the first episode where this seems like the second part of maybe the first episode that was going on, talking about compatibility. So from what I got from the other gentleman that was speaking, he was talking about how you should be able to the woman should teach the man how to please her. And I could see that like on a relationship, on the relationship side of things, if you guys have built something over time and then you learn each other's bodies and you go about it that way, I get that. Is that kind of the topic that it was? I mean, were you guys talking about you guys being with each other for a while, like a relationship type thing? Is this like a one night stand, a fling type of thing?
No. I'm more because, like he said, when it's a one night stand, that ain't something. When I came up with the subject or the topic, I'm talking about an ongoing relationship. I'm not talking about just a one night stand, because a one night stand is totally different. Why? Most of the time, you ain't gonna even want to do that to somebody you just met.
Right.
You understand?
Of course.
Yeah, that was my
point. Somebody, So I'm talking about more of a relationship. We've been together for a minute. We done explored this. We done talked about that. We done did this. I'm talking about that type of base of what my premise of this whole subject was. I'm not gonna do that to no stranger. You crazy as hell. You understand what I'm saying? We in
right,
it,
right.
get it, get out of there. You know, you understand what I'm saying? We're going to act like we robbing a bank. We're going to get in and out quick. You know, so it really doesn't matter if she enjoyed herself or if he enjoyed himself, because y'all both came together, do what you're supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm talking about more of a we're in a relationship. So I want her to be satisfied. I don't want her to feel like she has to go somewhere else. I don't want her to feel like she needs to pull out her toy to finish the job that I started. Okay, if you need to pull out your toy, let's play with it together. Some men, we shy away from that. I'm not shying away from nothing. As long as you don't try to penetrate me in any way, shape, or form, I'm game. You understand what I'm saying? As long as if we get in that room and you want me to jump off the dresser on your ass, I'm going to do it. As long as you ain't talking about, hey, let me stick this. Nah, you ain't sticking it in nothing and nowhere. You ain't doing that to me.
Oh, my God.
I don't know who you dealt with in the past, and I'm not knocking nobody, and I'm not talking about nobody on the show. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But that's not my thing. That's not my thing. If that's your thing, I don't knock you for it. That's your thing. But my thing is, no. You want me to hit them ropes like Rock, and hit you with the rock bottom, Stone Cold, all that, we doing it. You know, so.
Yep.
But,
yeah, and I think
Frank, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. The guys who, you know, you were saying, the lady was saying, and what's your name? I'm sorry. This is my first time here. The lady? What can I call you?
Yvonne. Yeah, Yvonne.
Yvonne. All right, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, you too.
So for a guy, you were saying, and maybe I read into things a lot too, but you were saying that if a guy, you're like, hey, suck on my clit, and if he's not doing it right, you're saying no, like you're not doing it right? But for a man, like if he is a pleaser, right? And you're telling him no. If he's not, it's like all you got to do is kind of move his head a little bit, and to where you want it to be, and he's gonna do it. If you're telling him no, it's gonna fucking soften his dick immediately, and he's not gonna want to keep going.
Right, but the thing is like instead of me saying no, I just end up going, on with it, and then I fake an orgasm. Is it wrong? Yeah, it is. But it's just wrong. So that's why
I have a little bit of a better idea. I agree with what the gentleman just said, but I have a little bit of a better idea, and this is kind of novel or foreign to most people, and that is talk about it non-sexually. In other words, tell the man what you want when you're not having sex.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea. I could do it in a joking manner. Be like, you could turn it into something where it's a like he said, non-contact situation where y'all talking about it and getting everything out of the way. Because a lot of times people will tell the truth when you're just having a regular conversation. People like, I remember one time, and if the man's listening well enough, he'll understand what you're saying and he'll follow your lead. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I remember, like, you just, like,
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I was just gonna say that's a good time to go ahead and also get those consent forms signed these days, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page here. Talk about what to do, what not to do, safe words. I'm taking this consent form to court if I need to.
Yo, listen,
hey, this is a man after my own heart, I must say. But now, if I may interject, well, when you finish, I want to interject something relevant to that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't want to eat the box in the wrong way and then end up in jail, or for whatever reason. So consent forms, but yeah, go for it. What were you saying, sir?
Yes, sir. What I was about to, opine is that one woman by the name Dr. Wendy Walsh, Wendy Walsh. She's a psychotherapist, a psychologist, I think, and she was saying that that's abusive if a man wants a woman to sign a consent form. Now, let me just give you my real feeling on that. I think that is so stupid because, it's all over the place. What a man wants is clarity, and that provides clarity. he's not locking the woman into anything. He's just making sure that they're on the same page, especially, and, I just want to maybe draw out something that you are intimating, and that is in this era of Me Tooism, especially with a guy who has his stuff together, who has assets and things, and he doesn't want to be caught up in a foolish legal system. So I concur with you. I think it's perfectly legitimate and appropriate to have those forms signed. I think that's a beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, it's scary.
Maybe we could talk about that another show too. I have my personal opinions on that too, only because a man has everything to lose and a woman has nothing to lose when it comes to that. But I think that would be a nice little conversation that we could have, But go ahead. I'm sorry, Frank. What were you going to say?
No, that's just a scary part of today's culture. Like, the asking permission, telling a guy he's doing it wrong is going to, soften his dick. But, for a woman, if a guy has to ask permission, it's going to dry her up real quick. Like, she doesn't want to she wants what she wants, but she doesn't want to have to, teach the guy necessarily. She wants a man to kind of take charge, and she wants to let loose, and that's kind of where she wants to submit, I think. But nothing's going to, turn her off more than some guy that's, indecisive and unsure and, too bashful or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of scary to even think about. And like the last gentleman was saying about having assets and everything to lose, Reef was talking about, SQ was talking about having things to lose. It's scary, man. You can't just really go out and get it like we could back, 20 years ago without, it being. And then are they recording it? There's recording devices everywhere. It's kind of a scary thing, man.
Yeah. So a lot of trust, because you got to trust that the person is not going to, do you dirty afterwards, and vice versa. Yep. We're both in a position that's very vulnerable. When you take your clothes off with a person now, you're in a very vulnerable position because, like Frank said, you could be recorded. She could say you raped her. You understand what I'm saying? And and then you touch on things like that where the girl was like, oh, the sex wasn't all that. And think about it. Back in the days, they used to do similar things like that. And it's gotten worse over the years because you have all these social medias where these women are talking about things that they're doing and how they're getting over on these men or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's so that could be something to think about too, But like I said, we could have a conversation on that too. Because I think that's a conversation that needs to be had between two people as well. Trust is easy. It's hard to find, but easy to lose.
Right. Well, I've heard some younger men, and I'm speaking of men in their 30s, but hell, men in their 50s could be younger men. What do they say? 90 is the new 50 today. But nevertheless, I don't know that there are any prohibitions legally against recording what goes on. And some men who have acquired assets.
Yeah, it's called revenge porn, especially if you
No. But hold on, I'm not talking about that. That's I know what you're about to say. I'm not referring to that. Some men record it just as a means of protecting themselves. So if the woman comes back and says something occurred that's untoward, well, then they have the tape of it. So some men just record everything, every sexual interaction, they record it automatically for protection. And I don't think that's a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something about that, too. And men, I'm going to give y'all a heads up. That's you're playing on a dangerous line when you do that. I understand why you do it or whatever. There's a 2257 law, and you can look it up. A person has to be aware that they're being recorded. You understand what I'm saying? Regardless of anything, because
are you sure about that? Now, it would be good to check with an attorney, but I don't know. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I was just going to say there could be nuances to that, and see what's happening. Let me just give you a little bit of the scenario. The scenario is this hookup culture. It's a hookup culture. And so, like someone said, I think it was you, sir, that said, women don't have that much to lose, because a man is usually not going to accuse a woman of raping him. A woman can do that, by the way, if, buyer's remorse. There's a lot of false rape accusations. So if a man does that just to, clear himself, because they have these hookups, as it were, sexual, what do they say, Netflix and chill, something like that? So the man is doing it for his protection and not anything lurid in the sense of, that he's going to try to, blackmail the woman or anything like that. It's just for his own protection.
Yeah. Well, I'm just telling people, like, be careful who you hook up with. The hooking up situation, it seems like a fun thing to do. I was guilty of it. I'm not gonna, be hypocritical of something that I used to do or I've done in the past.
Right.
I'm just saying more so if you're in a relationship, just know your partner better sexually. Make sure that there's no reason for them to feel certain ways. And that's hard nowadays. That's very hard because people.
Yeah, that can't be done. What you just said, if you don't mind my saying so, that's impossible.
Yeah,
especially with multiple women. A man can't do that, what you just said.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. I mean, it's a good conversation.
No problem. Everybody, I appreciate that everybody is participating in it, because from one thing, it opens up the door for another conversation that needs to be had that some people don't think about. Hey, listen, if you tell this person that the sex was bad, this could go left. You understand what I'm saying? So how do you address that as well as telling them, and that's why I said sometimes we got to figure out ways to ease the pain. If I want to put it that way, you can always ease the pain on something. You can always ease the delivery on a subject, So, but I just think that we need to be more aware, especially if we're in a relationship with somebody. We want them to be happy regardless, So. Yeah,
I heard a lady say, and I concurred with her 100%, and that was with what's the guy's name that they convicted of harassing the women? He was in the media. Harvey Weinstein. What she said was that Harvey is being convicted because he's ugly. That's it. He's an unattractive man, and therefore he's easy to dump on. All those other guys did that. Hef, I mean, they used to have a saying, Spanish flies, open thighs, right? Now, that was before my time, but I've certainly read about it. And, all those people were at the Playboy Mansion and so on and so forth. I know we may be getting a little far afield, but I'm just saying guys have to take all the precautions that they can, from the consent form to the recording to trying to get to know the person. But they can, like you said, it could easily go left for any reason, any reason at all. And so guys just have to be, they have to take every precaution they can. Look at, what's the guy's name, the rapper who put the habanero sauce in the condom?
Drake.
Now I'll just tell you, I heard some attorneys say that was booby trapping. And I heard other attorneys say, no. He was within his prerogatives to do that. He was in his hotel. That was his property. And she had no business going in the trash. Well, we know why she was doing it. But that just goes to show you a lot of women, they're incentivized to do this.
Yeah. And then you got to think about, too, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. What about the woman that You didn't record. You thought you had a good time. Next thing you know, the police knocking on your door. She told you no or stop, and you didn't because she had a bad time.
Right.
You know, so the hookup culture is scary. You know, the hookup culture is very scary. And even a relationship, because when things go south in a relationship, that person shows up who they really are. I don't know if anybody's ever gone through a divorce. It's not a pretty sight. That's not the person that you were in love with. That person now, you know, marriage, they say marriage is the only time that you knowingly sleep with the enemy. That's a deep thought. That's a deep thought, yo. You knowingly sleep with the enemy when you get married. Because when it's over, boy, listen. How did that joke go? What does the hurricane and the woman have in common?
Wait a minute. I think I know, but go ahead.
When they come, they wet and they wild, and when they leave, they take your house and your car. You know?
I heard the one about sucking and blowing, but maybe that's for another show.
Oh,
but
yeah.
one of the things that men can do, especially men of one of the things that men of means might do, and this all goes to what you were just saying a moment ago, sir, and that is stay in your own domicile. Don't move in, because moving in creates real problems. I've known situations where men were, as you said, you talked about the police coming to one's door, but they were put out of their place, and then they had to rent another place, and it just goes downhill from there. So what many men have to do is only deal with women that have their own domiciles. And until you get to know that woman, which may take maybe a couple of years, I don't know, or you know, you guys have a separate domicile. And I use the example of two boxers in a ring where they are designated opponents. They are fighters. But when they go to their neutral corners, they're not to hit each other. They don't fight. And I use that as an analogy for having one's own domicile. And so, you know, tensions can get a little heated. I mean, we live in a difficult time, a stressful time, let's say. And, you know, you can say, sweetheart, I see you're a little bit irritated, and I'm going to shove off, and I'll check with you in a couple of days or so, or vice versa. But if you guys live together, there's none of that. You've got to, which may make it a little bit more difficult. So I think keeping separate domiciles is very crucial to harmony. What do you think?
I think that's a smart move. But I'm going to tell you, these laws in these states are so crazy, because if you stay with a person long enough, you are now a resident of that location. So at some point in time, you know, if you got your own place, she got her own place, she's going to want you to stay with her, you're going to want her to stay with you, but you got to play it safe with that too, because you got to be like, hey, all right, we're coming up to the 10th day, we got to go to your crib now. Because 10 days, some states, they're a legal resident at that location. 30 days, some other states, you know. And some states, if you receive mail at that location, you know. So when you do that, you might want to tell her, no, I don't have nothing brought over here. Or she try to leave something, be like, no. You got to take that with you, you know. So that's a smart move, but you know, we got to be smart with that too. You know, I'm going to play the devil advocate with a lot of things because I've seen a lot of stuff, you know, and sometimes I think it's a thing of men not knowing, you know, and it's a thing of men never going through it, so they don't know what to expect.
You know, yes. Had you finished? I can appreciate what you – go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Thanks. No, I can appreciate what you said. However, and those are some good points, legitimately. Receiving the mail at someone's domicile, yeah, I've seen situations like that they can claim residency, and actually, if they get a dirty enough attorney, they can force some equity out of your house. But the point is what I said a moment ago. That is really, really remote if both people have their own domiciles, because they can always retreat to them, you see. So if something happens, it's just like with having that consent form. No district attorney in his right mind, except maybe Mark Fong, that was the lacrosse situation years ago. But no attorney in his right mind would attempt to prosecute a guy who has a legitimately signed consent form. And neither would there be a problem with what you just said if the woman has her own house, because she can always retreat to it. And I would say that would be much more likely than her calling the police. She would just go home. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, the district attorney, his job is to win a case. It doesn't matter how he has to win the case, as long as he win that case. Trust me, I know. I've seen it. The state that I live in, we have the highest conviction rate. And that's only because they deal with certain things and they try to force issues, and they do a scare tactic that make a person think that if I don't take this plea deal, I can get 300 years, not realizing that they have nothing, you know. So, but you know, I just think that we need to be more careful on the people that we choose. You understand what I'm saying? And that goes into a part of being a pleaser. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you have to please the person that you're with. You know, and it's hard. It's hard to please somebody when they got 1 million people that they can contact on the internet alone. Just because she thinks you're attractive. Oh, trust me, buddy, there's somebody in her inbox that's much more attractive than her. There's somebody in her inbox that can definitely bring more to the table than you. It's just your number right now. You understand what I'm saying? So I just think that with relationships, you know, being a pleaser or a teaser, we just got to be careful and selective on who we're trying to please and who we're trying to tease. And I think that was something else that should have been thought about a little when I came up with the subject. You know, I didn't realize that we were going to get as deep as we did get, besides what we were talking about. But those are things that we need to talk about.
Right.
You know, because it could come be dangerous. They have these shows like Snap or For My Man. You understand what I'm saying? So when you being a pleaser or a teaser, you know, it could go into another realm of things. You know, but I appreciate, you know, it's some good conversation, and I know we run a little short on time, but does anybody else have anything else they want to say or talk about as far as the pleasing and teasing? You know.
No, but I agree with you when you said to communicate more. When you're when you are with someone, to, you know, communicate more about if they're not doing it right, to, you know, say, you know, to let them know.
Yeah, but
and
like I
said,
also
it's not
said,
that,
you know,
like I said, it's not that my past relationships, it's not like they were bad in bed. It's just, you know, getting me to that, you know, to that point. But but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And just be careful how you tell them. That's all my suggestion, because we live in a very sensitive society. People look for a way to be offended. This society has changed so much that the slightest thing, I think Frank said it, or the other gentleman had made this comment of, you know, you tell them that you ate the box raw, she's going to go down to the police and report you and say that you raped her or something crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be sensitive now. And, you know, it's gotten to a point where you know society has gotten bad when you can't even, the military, the soldiers are being treated differently. you can't yell at them no more. They can raise their hand and tell you, yo, I need time out because you're doing too much. What are they going to do when they get caught? It'll be lies. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. When you approach certain subjects, we just got to be careful on how we, and sometimes it's not it's not the speech, it's the deliverance of the speech. So
Correct.
we just be mindful of when you're telling somebody, like, hey, listen, that's not really something, but you did it, I enjoyed it, I had fun, but this is how I like it. If you remember when your hair was like this, and you could basically describe it to him, and he'll play it back in his mind, be like, oh, yeah, I remember when my hair was right there, my ear was on her thigh, and, I could, so you be like, yeah, remember that? Or, you know what, I got a better one. When you in the right spot, I'll grab your head and hold you right there, and just don't move. Just stay right where I got your head at. Or I'll adjust your head where I want you to be. So it takes a lot of pressure off of him too. So.
Yeah, adjuster. Hey, baby, sit on my face with this amount of pressure every time, and you'll get exactly what you want. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
But
yeah, just go ahead. I'm sorry. This blog talk.
Go ahead.
Okay. Great. I just want to reiterate in terms of pleasing. In that show, what I mentioned before, where the women obviously were not being pleased, not even getting dates to get to the sexual point, I offer my services because I think it was so much that they weren't doing. It seemed to me that they wanted to bash men, and that's fine. Men are okay with being bashed when it's deserved, okay? No problem there. We take criticism quite well. But the point of it is that I think much of their problem was what they were not doing, juxtaposed to anything that a man was doing. In other words, they hadn't even gotten to whatever problems a man might have. They were still in their arena and what they needed to do as modern 21st century women. So that's that show.
What I think really, oh, were you still going? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, just to wrap it up by saying that was the show entitled "Sorry, Excuse for a Man, Girl Talk." That was only about 15 to 17 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
When you have that connection with somebody and you want to talk about pleasing, I think I'm definitely a pleaser too. You got to tease them and please. It all kind of goes hand in hand, teasing and pleasing, right? But if you really care for this person, you're going to want to make them feel good regardless. And you're going to be able to pick up on their body and their movements and their reactions and all that. And that's important. Mm-hmm. If you can't, then that connection's not there. So you might as well on to the next one. But when you get to be with somebody for long enough, if you really want to please them, like, they say when in a lot of relationships, when the spice starts going away, how you got to find up new ways to spice it up. Like, I don't know, fuck them in the car or whatever. Ask a friend to watch. I don't know, whatever people like to do.
Right.
There's this thing, right, that everybody does. Everyone goes to this place in their mind, dark, deep place that nobody knows, right? But that place is why she's fucking you the way she's fucking you. And if you can learn that place, that girl, she'll stay with you forever. You learn that place and you play off of that and take it down that rabbit hole, you'll please her. She'll squirt, bro. You'll have like a fucking puddle, right? Every single time, man. That's how it goes. Everybody's got that place. That's the connection that's a spice that people are missing. When it doesn't get to that next level.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely interesting.
Agree that when you pull that demon out, and every man knows what that demon is.
Yep.
You know.
And every girl knows what that demon is. She's just waiting for you to find it. You know,
yeah.
if you want to call it a demon, but it's that deep subconscious that she's got locked away like that. That's why do you think that was like 50 Shades of Grey? You know, it's not necessarily always that scenario, but there's, you know, they say sex sells for a reason, and women buy the romance novels and all that stuff. There's so much more to it than just, you know, eat my pussy and stick your finger in my butt or whatever. There's a lot more to it, you know.
Right.
Hey, Yvonne, I introduce you to this gentleman.
Huh? You said you introduced me?
That was just a joke, but I was just saying based on what the gentleman who just spoke was saying. I just said I introduce you to this gentleman. He talked about making a woman squirt a puddle. So there you go.
It's a real thing. It happens. Yep. I don't know why, man.
Everybody.
Oh, good.
Go ahead.
Good.
No, go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was just going to say, I don't know what it is about. I lived in South Korea. I was there for a year. And I don't know what it is. This could be the time when, like, maybe size mattered. You know, I am of the Caucasian descent. So not to give away too much about myself, you know, but over there, they all squirted. I don't know why. And it was like fountains. Over here, you see it more rarely, but it's with that connection. That's just where I was going with it. But it's a real thing, man. It's a phenomenon.
Well, it's a cultural thing. We could talk about that too. We could make another show on that one. That's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's a cultural thing. That's a cultural thing. You know, so. But I know, I think, we've come to the end of the show.
Right. And, but we will be updating you guys. No, we just will be updating everyone about the dating show that we will be having, that we're working out right now, that you and I are working out. Mm-hmm. But, that's pretty much it. I enjoyed everybody. I enjoyed everyone that did have something to say. And even for the people who just wanted to listen in, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys for having me.
I'll catch you guys next time. Have a wonderful night.
All right, you too. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And stay tuned for our next episode.